Welcome to the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio. We've got a fast-paced hour of fishing, hunting, and conservation covering the nation and the Northwest, including 13 extra minutes of local content you'll only hear on Seattle's Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Happy Saturday morning to you. Today is D-Day +4 at the Washington Sportsman Show at the Fairgrounds in Puyallup. If you haven't been there yet, you are missing out. You need to go this weekend. There are a lot of new features and attractions to take in this year, to include a section dedicated to kayak fishing. There's the Walleye Alley and a cooking competition. Be sure to drop by our booth as well. Say hello and sign up for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate from Max Lure. Another show to tell you about is the Fly Fishing Show. This one's coming up February 16th and 17th at the Linwood Convention Center. There are going to be all sorts of presentations about casting, fly tying, tactics, and more from a bunch of experts and celebrities in the field. Find out more at flyfishingshow.com. This week, for your local shot of the outdoors, we'll be talking to Tom Burlingame at the bottom of the hour. He is the owner of XL Fishing Charters out of Nia Bay, and he's got some advice on how to catch those winter blackmouth off of Sekiu and other places in Puget Sound this winter and early spring. You'll want to stick around for the end of the show, too, because we'll be checking in with Ty Mautner with Garibaldi Charters. He'll be talking March lingcod and sea bass off the northern Oregon coast, with Dungeness crab thrown in for good measure. But before we talk to Tom and Ty about saltwater angling, it's time to tell you, as we do every week, what's hot right here in the Pacific Northwest, brought to you by your local Sportsman's Warehouse stores in Everett, Silverdale, Federal Way, and Puyallup. And if you are wondering what the right handgun is for you, there is a free seminar taking place at the Everett Sportsman's Warehouse store on Monday, February 4th, that can help you out with that. An NRA instructor will be at the store from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. to give you the ins and outs of various pistols, to include revolvers and semi-automatics of different calibers, so you can make an informed decision about what you need to have. In fishing reports, we start off in southwest Washington, where state creel checkers report very slow fishing for salmon and steelhead on the Cowlitz and the East Fork of the Lewis Rivers as of mid-January. But they sure were catching a lot of sturgeon out of boats in the Bonneville Pool of the Columbia River. Anglers in 36 boats caught 162 sturgeon in a week's time. The problem was only 8 were keepers, and the vast majority were undersized. Bank anglers put in some effort too, but of the 45 checked, only 1 caught a sturgeon, and it being under the size limit was let go. Keep your eyes on this catch and keep season between Bonneville and the Dalles Dam, because it may close on very short notice. Checking in with NorthwestFisheryReports.com, I was intrigued by a report from Offutt Lake out of Thurston County. The poster went out on the 16th with a friend, had the lake to themselves, and trolling around, hooked into 11 scrappy rainbow trout. They managed to net 7 of them, the largest being just over 16 inches. That is a pretty good day on the lake. Finally, if you are a waterfowl hunter, this is your last weekend to go after ducks and Canada geese. It's been a great season for honkers of the Canadian variety in the Columbia Basin, and for snow geese in the North Sound. And duck hunting, let's just say, has gone way better this year than it did for most folks last season. And with that, you are now in the know about what's hot and what's not right here in the Pacific Northwest.
That's your first local shot of the outdoors. Now let's see what's going on across the nation.
Are you looking to reel in the marketing opportunity of a lifetime? Then set the hook, because we've got it right here for you. America Outdoors Radio has sponsorships available, and we offer affordable platforms to reach thousands of listeners interested in fishing, hunting, and the outdoors. Find out more by contacting John Cruz through his website at AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com.
NorthwestFishingReports.com is the Northwest's largest fishing reports website, featuring well over 50,000 fishing reports, videos, articles, and more. All 100% free. Catch more fish with Northwest Fishing Reports. Log on today.
Ready for more local fishing and hunting? You got it. It's the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio, right here on Seattle's Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Guess who's back? It's Tom Burlingame. He is the owner of XL Fishing Charters, and he is going to be taking folks fishing for a special blackmouth season out of Sekiu that opens up on February 16th, runs through the end of April, and there's a generous 2 hatchery Chinook limit. So definitely worth the trek. Tom, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, John.
So, Tom, last time around, we talked about the season itself. This time I want to talk about the tactics you use to get these blackmouth into the boat.
Yeah, you bet, John. It's your standard drill for blackmouth fishing. Most of these fish this time of year are feeding on candlefish, and those candlefish are collecting right on the bottom. They're right in the sand. So those fish are actually down there digging those candlefish out for their feed this time of year. So you want to be fishing small spoons, coho killers, things like that, right off the bottom. Your downrigger balls will be bouncing the bottom all day long.
So this is a pretty tried and true method. You're absolutely right. You know, back in the day when you and I were a little bit younger, people would try to do the same thing with lead, banana weights. Does that still work at all, or is everybody using the downrigger because of the control you have?
You know, I'm a downrigger guy. I think the success rate with downriggers is a lot higher. I'm not saying that you can't catch blackmouth mooching. There are spots that work pretty well. Point no point comes to mind. There's a tried and true bunch of fishermen that fish there using a mooching with a lead weight, but downriggers are superior in your catch rate.
All right, so if you want to catch some of these blackmouth, 2 ways to do it. Take your boat over to Sekiu for this February 16th through end of April fishery and get those downrigger balls off, bounce them off the bottom, troll some coho killers or other similar spoons behind it, or save yourself the hassle and just book a trip with Tom Burlingame. His website to do so, xlfishingcharters.com. You're going to find the prices are very reasonable. The website again, XL, spelled EXCEL, fishingcharters.com. Tom's a great guy to fish with. I can tell you that firsthand. Tom, always a pleasure to talk to you on America Outdoors Radio.
Thank you very much, John.
Marine Area 5 near Sekiu is open for a special Chinook salmon fishery from February 16th to April 30th, and XL Fishing Charters is ready to take you out for a great day on the water. One of the great things about this fishery is the fact that you get to take home not 1, but 2 blackmouth a day, and Captain Tom Burlingame has the knowledge and experience to help you get that done. Find out more about fishing with XL Fishing Charters at xlfishingcharters.com. Book your trip now.
Looking for a way to get the message out about your business to hunters and anglers throughout the Seattle and Everett area? Then consider advertising with America Outdoors Radio. To find out more, contact John Cruz through his website at americaoutdoorsradio.com.
Don't leave yet. We've got one more local shot of fishing and hunting to wrap up the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio.
For your next local shot of the outdoors, we're bringing you audio from the floor of the Tri-City Sportsman Show. We're catching up with Ty Mautner. He's with Garibaldi Charters. It's the closest ocean charter service to Portland, Oregon. Ty, great to have you back on the show.
Hey, great to be here. Thank you.
So March 15th is a big day. That's the day that rockfish and lingcod season opens. Tell our listeners about these opportunities they should book right now.
Well, in March, we start up the second week of March. We'll be going out for a deep reef for big lingcod, past the 30-fathom mark. We catch some really monster lingcod out there. It's really fun.
So people always want to know, what's the limits, what's the size that we're talking about here?
So with lingcod, a lot of times in the teens, sometimes 20, 30, we get some right near about 40 pounds on occasion.
Those are big lingcod.
Yeah, they're really nice sized lingcod out there. You can also have 5 sea bass on top of that, the rockfish, and you can actually have a limited canary now too. They made that legal.
Well, that's surprising about the canary. I didn't know that. So we're talking about day of fishing. Bring back 5 sea bass. These are like 2 to 4 pound bass. And the lingcod, like you said, in the teens and 20s, is that 1 or 2 fish?
2 fish.
Folks, that's a lot of bottom fish you'll be bringing back home for your freezer. You're going to be very popular in your neighborhood. Anything else folks ought to know about these trips?
Yes, we also drop crab pots, too. We drop 6 crab pots on bottom fishing trips. As long as the swell is not too big, and it's safe to retrieve the pots. But as long as you have a shellfish license, you get to share those crab, too. And we fillet the fish. We boil the crab for you. We have all the gear. Terminal tackle, that's all included. And there's a deckhand going to help you out there, too.
And last but not least, Dungeness crab limits in Oregon, much more generous than Washington State. What is it, 12 dungies?
Yeah, 12 per person. Normally we don't get our limits per person, but we do, usually get, depends on the day, it could be, 2 to 5 crab per person if you have a shellfish license.
All right, well, there you go, folks. Some spring bottom fishing opportunities for rockfish, big lingcod, and Dungeness crab, too. The place to go to is GaribaldiCharters.com, GaribaldiCharters.com. Book now for these affordable bottom fishing trips off the northern Oregon coast. Thanks, Ty.
Hey, thank you. Have a good day.
That's all for this week, but don't worry. We'll do it all again next Saturday morning from 7 to 8, right here on Seattle's Sports Radio 950 KJR.